Hello and welcome to Idea TV News Update. I am Cynthia Bassi. We begin with the headlines. CBN clarifies early exit policy denies targeting northern staff. Flash flood displaces residents in Maiduguri following heavy downpour. Deadly protests erupt in Angola over fuel prices hike. And in health, Nigerian nurses set to begin 7-day warning strike over poor working condition. In business, Watra pushes for unified digital market to unlock billions in West Africa. And in sports, Nigeria's under-19 boys qualify for 2025 World Youth Championships. Now the news in full. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has reaffirmed that its early exit package implemented in 2024 was entirely voluntary and not designed to marginalize or target northerners within the institution. CBN Deputy Governor for Economic Policy Muhammadu Abdullahi addressed the issue on Wednesday during a 2-day interactive section on government citizens engagement in Kaduna hosted by the Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation. He explained that the headquarters in Abuja had become overcrowded, forcing the bank to offer an attractive exit package as a decongestion measure, not as an act of bias or exclusion. Abdullahi clarified that the structural congestion at the Abuja headquarters was severe, with limited space and evacuation routes being converted into office areas, raising concerns from the bank's insurance providers. He emphasized that ample space exists in CBN's regional offices in Lagos and Kaduna, and many staff transferred there are now content with their relocation. He also noted that the early exit policy has been in practice for over 2 decades and is typically activated when management levels are overstaffed. It is not an agenda against anybody, he said, adding that some staff who accepted the offer have gone on to start successful ventures, including microfinance banks. Addressing misinformation circulating about the removal of 16 directors, Abdullahi urged Nigerians to ignore divisive narratives. He highlighted that many directors from the northern region remain in their roles, including prominent individuals affected by staff distribution, such as the son of the secretary to the government of the federation. It is a policy of the bank. People should please understand all this, he said, calling on all citizens to reject fake news and support policies aimed at improving institutional efficiency. Moving on, a flash flood triggered by a torrential downpour lasting over 3 hours on Wednesday has displaced several residents in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. Affected areas include Damboa Road, Madunganari, Ngomari, and other parts of the city, where the residents were forced to abandon their homes and seek shelter with friends and family. A resident behind Indimi House of Damboa Road expressed concern over future flooding, noting that previous rains only caused minor water pooling, but the latest incident was unexpectedly severe despite not originating from any nearby water body. In Modunganari, another resident, Joshua Solomon, confirmed that houses had already been inundated, forcing occupants to flee. The flood waters also reached Ngomari Primary Healthcare Center in Jerry local government area, where government source said a scheduled flag-off of a maternal and neonatal health initiative by UNICEF and the Borno State Primary Healthcare Development Board had to be postponed. This incident comes with just 10 months after devastating floods swept through the state capital, killing over 300 people and displacing millions, with the rainy season still underway. Both residents and motorists are calling for urgent government intervention to provide relief and prevent a secure recurrence of last year's disaster. Many are urging authorities to prioritize drainage infrastructure, emergency response, and housing support for those most at risk. In other news, at least 5 people, including a police officer, have been killed and more than 1,200 arrested in Angola following widespread protests in the capital, Luanda, sparked by a 33% hike in diesel prices. What began as a 3-day strike by taxi drivers quickly escalated into one of the most disruptive waves of unrest the country has seen in recent years. Demonstrators blocked roads, looted shops, destroyed vehicles, and clashed with security forces across Luanda. with additional unrest reported in the provinces of Ikolo, Ibengo, and Huambo. Anger over the fuel hike introduced as part of government's effort to end long-standing fuel subsidies has struck a nerve in a country already grappling with economic hardship. Citizens say the increased cost of diesel has led to higher taxi fares and surging prices of staple goods, worsening conditions for low-income families. The fuel price issue is just the last straw, said local activist Laura Macedo. Hunger is rife and the poor are becoming miserable. Despite the unrest, President João Lourenço has downplayed the protests, accusing demonstrators of using fuel prices as a pretext to destabilize the government and pointing out that diesel remains cheap by global standards. In response to the escalating crisis, police have maintained a strong presence in Luanda, vowing to restore order. As of Wednesday, major shops, banks, and businesses remain closed, and many private sector workers have stayed home. A key taxi association, ANATA, has distanced itself from the violence but pledged to continue the strike, stating the voice of the taxi drivers reflects the outcry of the Angolan people. Meanwhile, the ruling MPLA party has accused the protesters of attempting to derail celebrations marking Angola's 50th anniversary of independence, while state media has come under fire for failing to cover the demonstrations. We go on a quick break now. The news continues when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV News Update. Now with the rest of the news. In health, nurses under the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives Federal Health Institutions Sector, NANNM-FHI, confirmed that their planned 7-day warning strike will begin on Wednesday, July 31st of this year. Despite the possibility of last-minute government intervention, the association insists the industrial action will proceed as planned, citing the federal government's failure to act within a 15-day ultimatum issued on July 14. NANNM-FHI National Chairman Morakin Yorewan stated that the strike is non-negotiable at this stage. The nurses' demands include an upward review of shift and uniform allowances, increased core duty allowance, mass recruitment of nurses, creation of a dedicated salary structure, and the establishment of a nursing department in the Federal Ministry of Health. Railwan emphasized that the strike was not driven by union leadership, but by members exhausted by decades of neglect. He added that for over 40 years they have been patient. He also noted that the members are fully prepared for any consequences, including the government's no work, no pay policy, stating they are ready to sacrifice that as long as this strike continues. Should the government fail to address their grievances, after the initial warning strike, the union plans to issue a further 21-day ultimatum before launching an indefinite nationwide strike. Railwan clarified that participation is limited to institutions with financially active members. Federal Medical Center Ebutemeta and Lagos University Teaching Hospital will not participate due to long-standing disaffiliation. However, all other federal health institutions, including those in Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory, are expected to join the strike, potentially paralyzing healthcare services across Nigeria. In business news, the West Africa Telecommunications Regulatory Assembly, WATRA, says the West African says that West Africa could unlock billions of dollars in investment by creating a harmonized digital market across the ECOWAS region. Speaking during the opening of the Assembly's third working group meeting in Accra, Ghana, WATRA's Executive Secretary Aliyu Aboki described regulatory harmonization as a game changer that could transform fragmented national markets into one investable digital ecosystem. He said this would pave the way for regional tech champions, lower consumer costs, and support resilient digital systems. Despite a combined population of over 400 million, West Africa's digital economy remains fragmented due to varying national licensing regimes, consumer rules, and spectrum regulations. Watra says this disunity creates high compliance costs and limits cross-border growth for telecoms, fintechs, and digital platforms. To address this, Watra is driving a coordinated regional approach. The goal is a single digital market that enables efficient business scaling and delivers more affordable and reliable services to consumers. The Accra meeting, hosted by Ghana's National Communications Authority, brought together regulators, private sector leaders, and digital policy experts to develop unified frameworks in three key areas: consumer experience, infrastructure development, and cybersecurity. These working groups are developing harmonized rules that can be adopted by member countries, targeting fair digital service standards, aligned broadband infrastructure policies, and regional cybersecurity protocols. With over 250 million mobile subscribers and 120 million internet users, West Africa's telecom sector plays a growing role in commerce, education, and governance. In Nigeria alone, the ICT sector contributes nearly 15% to the country's GDP. And lastly, in sports, Nigeria has secured qualification for the 2025 ITTF World Youth Championships in Romania after a thrilling victory in the boys under-19 team event at the African Youth Championships, held Tuesday at the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall, Teslim Balogun Stadium in Lagos. The Nigerian squad staged a dramatic comeback from 0-2 down to defeat Egypt 3-2 in the semi-finals and went to the edge Tunisia by the same scoreline in a tense final. Despite Tunisia's Wassim Essid securing 2 wins, Nigeria's Abdul Basit Abdul Fattah sealed the title with a commanding 3-0 victory over Mohamed Kalofi in the decider, marking Nigeria's return to the Continental Summit after missing out in 2024. In the girls under-19 final, Nigeria fell short against a dominant Egyptian side, losing 3-0 as Egypt clinched its 4th consecutive title and secured the continent's only ticket to the World Youth Championships in that category. Egypt's Mariam Younis, Habiba El Basomi, and Nozaki were all in top form, defeating Nigeria's Aishat Rabiu, Favour Ojo, and Kabirat Ayola, respectively. Despite Ayola putting up resistance by winning a set, the Egyptians completed a clean sweep. Madagascar and South Africa earned bronze in the event. Meanwhile, Uganda under history in the under-15 girls category by winning their first ever African Youth Championships team gold. They came from behind to defeat Tunisia 3-2 with Patience Ayongo, delivering the decisive points in a hard-fought 3-2 win over Mariam Brahimi. Egypt and Algeria took home bronze medals. The tournament continues to showcase the rising talent